Hi everyone, I'm Pam Meisner, also known as Miss Smarty Plants, here at the Water Conservation Garden in East County. This is a beautiful 6-acre site of drought-tolerant, lovely, beautiful, lush landscape that I'd love for you guys to come and visit. Now, we were established just about 22 years ago to teach people about how lovely drought-tolerant landscape can be. Doesn't have to be cactus and rock. And also save water, because here in Southern California we have a dry, arid Mediterranean climate, and that doesn't mean that you have to have cactus here, but you can have lots of beautiful lush landscape as long as they're drought tolerant. You use the right type of irrigation, proper use of mulch, all of that stuff. And here at the garden, that's what we teach you. And as a secondary benefit at being at the garden, you get to have a sense of wellness and well-being and peace and just being out in nature. And after this past year, who doesn't need to do that? So I'm so excited to introduce you to some of my favorite topics, and it's called water harvesting, or saving water and keeping it on your property. Now, everybody knows about the typical rain barrels that you can get, and you put them on the corners of your house with your gutters going down into them. But today, I'm going to show you some really unique ways to save water that also add a little bit of spark and design to your landscape. One of those, and I'd really love you to take a quick look at this square box right here actually is a rain barrel. Now, it's tucked in underneath actually a living wall, which is really beautiful, but you can see exactly from the gutters up above how the water goes down in, and it goes into this rain barrel. There is a hose spout on there, and so you can water local plants and plants that are very close by around it. When we water this beautiful living wall, that water also drains into that rain catchment system, which actually is a box. It's not a rain barrel. We call them rain barrels, but it looks very different. Also, on the other side of here, we have a beautiful rain chain that is coming off of the gutter system. And down below it, right below it, you will see a catchment basin. And it's filled with rock, so it's basically a hole. We have it lined so that water doesn't go towards the foundation of your building. So we have it lined, and then we filled it with rock. So when it rains and the water comes down that chain, it fills up this basin. And then, really cool, because we are the Water Conservation Garden, we try to upcycle, reuse, reduce everything. So as you can see here, we've led a path. These are center roof tiles that have been turned upside down and cut and put in a pattern on the ground so that when this rain basin right here overfills, the water comes out and goes down this channel and then also irrigates this other rain bed. Pretty amazing, right? So really some unique things that we have here at the garden. And they're all tucked away in little nooks and crannies. And when you get here, I just want you to enjoy and see all the wonderful ways that you can save water. One of our buildings here actually is built to save water. And you will notice the building, the roof of it is a V, an inverted V, not this way like you usually see a roof, but this way. That is so all of the rainwater captures in that V, runs down to the drain in the front of the building, and we have a large pipe that sticks out. And then underneath there, underneath the cement, we have a cistern or a water catchment system so that all that water goes back and into your groundwater and nothing is off of your property. The biggest key here in San Diego is to try to keep as much water, because it is so precious, into and always staying on your property. That's kind of what you want to do here, and we're showing you lots of different ways. As we wander and meander through the paths here at the garden, one of the things I want you to take a look at are our swales. Swales are channels that are carved into the dirt or DG or whatever you have at your yard that allow water and direct water from one area to another. So say you have a slope in your landscape. Here at the garden, we have a very high point of the garden and everything drains downward. So along our paths and our trails, we have incorporated some swales or channels so that when the water comes down the path, it automatically goes into those channels and then waters areas that we have and slows the water down. So you want to slow it and sink it. So as the water's coming down the path, you're going to have that water go into these swales. Some of these are also called rain gardens, where it's basically a hole with rock put in the top of it so the water can go in and sink into the soil. It will then water all the landscaping that you have around it. It's especially good for trees. And on some of them, again, here at the garden, we like to reuse everything. You'll notice some concrete, or sometimes it's called urbanite, sometimes it's called riprap. It was an old patio that we had. We broke it up. We used that concrete then to line the sides of the swale. We stained the concrete so that it looks like it's part of the earth and gives it a little design feature. And then that also helps hold up the sides of the channels that we're putting in. So really what I'm trying to inspire you to do, and the garden does, is give you unique and different ways to save our most precious resource, water. We do import our water here into San Diego, so we want to make sure that we're using it the best that we can. Now there's one last one that I want you to take a look at, and this one is a giant urn, so it's all about decor. And what we did was we planted the top of it, but you will notice that the water is coming into that planter. And if you take a quick look at, or a closer look when you're at the garden, at some of the parts and pieces that you need, you can find them at any big box, Home Depots, Lowe's, Dixie-line places. They're very inexpensive, and it's a very easy fix to do to make sure that you get your water into something that is being reused again and again. So I've given you a short little tour here of some of my favorite water harvesting things, but the garden is much more and much bigger than that. We are an education garden. We're a demonstration education garden. Here at the garden, you can see what plants are going to look like in 10 years. You can see what newly planted plants are like. You can find out what type of irrigation is best for certain areas, how to plant on a hillside. We have lots of workshops, lots of places to come and find out, take pictures, figure out kind of what you want to do, and the whole time you're saving water, because everything here at the garden talks about saving water here in San Diego. And I know you've heard the word drought, and you will always hear the word drought because of our climate. So it's always best to save water all the time, not just during what we call a drought, but always try and save water the best that you can. And our garden was developed to show you that, enhance and inspire you. And I really hope that you come and visit here at the garden. It's a wonderful, wonderful place. Miss Smarty Plants, the ambassador here, really loves all of her kids, and we educate thousands of kids a year, but not just kids, adults as well. So it has been absolutely wonderful speaking with Next to Nature. I'm so happy to be part of this. This is just awesome. So I invite you and encourage you to come visit the Water Conservation Garden. We're right here in East County. What a remarkable community resource we have, and it's really fun. Come visit us, you guys. We'd love to see you here.